It's all about teaching effectively on the toddlers in swimming. Okay, it's all about teaching effectively on the toddlers in swimming. The big money for swimming is actually teaching toddlers. Normally, in teaching toddlers, you're charging about 7,000 to 15,000 per kid just to teach 14 hours to 20 hours of teaching for the toddlers, or 14 sessions to 20 sessions for the toddlers. So that's why if you're talking about 14, it's like paying you 500 pesos per hour. You need to make it a point that teaching toddlers, you need to have your measurement of safety. You need to learn more about safety measures on handling toddlers, and it's safer to secure more knowledge and experiences before starting to teach one. Okay? You cannot just merely teach without having some experience. Okay? So sometimes better for you to be an intern student before you start teaching, because uh, whether you're learning from an online or a talk, it's not enough. You're not gonna be having confidence on teaching babies if you don't have the actual thing that you realize how to execute. Okay, it's quite hard for you to execute something which you don't have any idea on how to handle it. Okay, the next one. This is the measurement of safety. Number two, one wrong move, you might end up killing the kid. Take note, that's about 12 months, okay, to 36 months old. The toddlers is normally age 1 to 3. You you make a point of one or two or three students all at the same time, and you may not seem to look at the kid which is already drowning while you're taking care or teaching the other kid. See? So it's advisable to do personalized teaching. Okay? It's a matter of seconds to drown a toddler. So before you commit on teaching, learn more first. Okay? So the most important thing here is to have experience before starting. Okay? Internship is another big help for you. Okay. Measurement safety number three. Toddlers is normally 30 to 45 minutes per session, and personalized attention. More often, toddlers are personalized attention. From 1 year old to 3 years old, take note. Below 2 years old, the kid is actually less, you may say brave. By the time it reaches past 2 years old, going to 3, they're already starting to be afraid. Okay? Number one, if you're talking about being afraid, they cannot easily go to you. They cannot easily follow you. They cannot easily talk to you. They cannot easily go to your hands, okay, and follow you. Whether you talk 1 hour, whether you talk 2 hours, you're gonna be having a hard time on that. So make it a point that it's a mother baby situation first for about 1 or 2 or 3 sessions. Then that's the time you can start it. Now, if it's gonna be really hard, you need to explain to the kid, to the mother, Mom, we don't have any guarantee. Okay, if the kid has a fear, the only best the best way to teach the kid is a mother baby. Okay, I will give you the guidance of how to execute it, but you will be the one to teach the baby. Okay, so because the kid only trusts the parent, well, regardless of how the parent handles it. Okay, the trust of the kid to the parent is really big. Okay, so we go to hello. We go to the next one. Okay, teaching methods. Normally, if you have a class, on each class is about 30 minutes. If you have 4 hours, okay, in 4 hours you can have about 8 students. In 8 hours you can have about 16 students. So let them be there 20 minutes before the actual time, okay? So they can also see, watch, and learn, okay? Take note, it will take about 10 minutes to stretch the kid and 5 to 10 minutes to dress up. So while they are also dressing up and waiting, they can watch the kid on the early schedule, okay? So it's another additional point that you can guarantee that the shifting is so fast that you're not gonna be wasting time waiting for the next student. So definitely for the whole 4 hours, you're gonna be expecting the whole 4 hours of 8 students automatic every 30 minutes. Okay, so just be sure that if you're gonna be urinating, you're not eating too much time. Okay. Now we have the speaker on the videos, okay, which is well known as a national coach of Australia. Okay. One of the national coach of Australia is Laurie Lawrence. Is known nationally for his spirited personality, his zest for life, for coaching champions, but arguably the greatest achievement is reducing the risk of small children drowning. You know, he has some stories like um, if he sees a swimming pool without uh, guidance or a bar on the side, okay, the tendency he will call the attention of uh of the whole community. Okay, close this swimming pool. Okay, you end up anytime the kid 1 or 2 years old kid can drown if you don't have any um blockage, okay, for the kid to jump. Okay, so the attention, okay, of the whole community in Australia, okay, if he sees a swimming pool that without any way to, or protection for the kid, he'll gonna be calling the attention of the police and say to the police that, hey, this is supposed to be closed. There's no protection for the kids. That is, his passion for baby swimming began with the birth of his daughter Jane in 1975. Okay, so that's the start of him being well known in teaching babies. Okay, in Australia, we are here to define. Okay, we are here to define how old are the toddlers. So 1 to 3 years old are the ages defined toddlers. Toddlers comes from the word toddle. Okay, so when you teach, that's 1 years old or 12 months to 36 months. That's the early stage. Okay, You need to evaluate the gradual process of how to start on each age. Okay, there's a big difference between the way you approach the 12 months old and the 36 months old, which is three years old. Okay, there's a big difference on that. You cannot just merely
We
yeah.
have high expectations of the swimming skills of our students at Laurie Lawrence Swim School. Here's 10 swimming skills we expect our 12-month-old babies to achieve. What would we expect of a child who has been coming for 2 lessons a week since they were 4 months old? Let's have a quick snapshot of the skills achieved by Harper at just 12 months on 2 swimming lessons per week. 1. She has good breath control. 1, 2, 3, 4. Parents are encouraged to practice this skill at home in the bath every night until the child can hold their breath for at least 5 seconds. 2. She is learning to float on her back. Back float is a vital safety skill. However, once children learn to sit up, back float is no longer enjoyable for them. We must gently persist and find ways to practice this vital safety skill and incorporate a little back float into every swimming lesson. 3. She has good gripping skills, monkey grip. Building independence by encouraging good gripping skills may just one day help save a little child's life. 10 swimming skills. 2 of her little classmates, both under 12 months of age, exhibit good monkey gripping skills as they hold onto their mother's fingers and are bounced up and down through the water. They are loving it and are getting stronger week by week. As a result of these gripping skills, 4, she can hold on to a high wall. Notice how little Harper grips the high wall, holds on with one arm, finally lets go and swims that 1 metre or so back to me. All vital safety skills that one day may save her life. 5, she can do an assisted submersion and float for 5 seconds. Watch the double trigger, lift, lower, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she pulls up on my chest. Let's watch that again. Use a double trigger, kinesthetic lift, lower, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she pulls up independently on my chest. Well done, Harper. 6, she can do assisted swims for 5 seconds and long assisted swims for 5 seconds to the ledge pose no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. She pulls herself up. Harper's little friends love this exercise, but competitive mums love it too. Come on, Harper, look out, those kids, oh, Harper, I think they beat you. Let's try that race one more time. Take your mark. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What a great little group of swimmers. 7, Harper is happy to independently submerge. Now that Harper's breath control is good and she can float, she is now happy to self-submerge. It becomes a fun game. If they happen to fall in by accident, then it's very important that the mothers don't panic and slowly go down and allow the child to use those gripping skills that have been part of the early learn to swim process. Remember, those gripping skills may one day save a child's life. Once the child is happy to self-submerge and has mastered the gripping skills, they will really want to explore the water. It is through exploration that these children really start to progress. The best parent teachers are relaxed, they have soft hands, and they allow the child to explore the water, learning their own capabilities, learning the difference between deep and shallow. 8. Harper can float to and pull up on a ledge. Once the child is capable of pulling themselves up on furniture, and in some instances walking before they're 12 months of age, it's time to give them the opportunity to float to the ledge and pull themselves up. Once again, we as teachers, we as parent teachers, are building independence in the child. This independence may one day save their life. 9. Harper and her little mates are starting to follow simple instructions learned through word-action association. By the time children are 12 months of age, they can and will follow simple instructions. You can teach your child to clap hands or wave ta-ta, and just as we do that, through word-action association, kick, 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 we encourage the children to use their propulsive action of kicking. 10. Harper is starting to learn underwater turns. Once the child has learnt good breath control and is happy to self-submerge and swim a metre or so to the parents, it's time to teach them underwater turning. We never teach underwater turning until the child has great breath control. The reason we don't start turning too early is that turning requires a vertical submersion. In a vertical submersion, if the child has not got good breath control, water can be forced up the child's nose, and we all know that water up the nose can be quite uncomfortable and stressful for a little baby. In teaching, always let the child know exactly what you're going to do. Use your verbal trigger, give a kinesthetic lift, take the child well down underwater, spin them fast, and then let them slowly float to the surface. In teaching turning, the first turns should be a fast spin and a catch underwater. In the first attempt at underwater turning, we should never let the child float to the surface, as Harper is doing here, because they will not be ready for it. Remember, everything we teach children requires building skills. So first turns simply should be submerge, spin, and catch. As the child is becoming more proficient, then's the time to let them float slowly to the surface.
Mobility of toddlers. Did we
Evie, 18 months, learning respect. By the time children are 18 months of age, their mobility on land is quite good. If they have had lessons giving them regular exposure to water, they should be learning their capabilities and know the difference between deep and shallow water. As they get more adventurous, they may even, with encouragement, venture from shallow to deep water. When they are happily doing this, you may even start giving them practice of returning to shallow water after a big jump or throw. Don't start doing this until the child has mastered all the prerequisite floating and turning skills. Achieving this skill requires the child to be able to swim in two planes, so don't even attempt this exercise if the child can't happily swim in two planes. Attempting this too early could result in frightening the child and make your job as a parent or teacher so much harder. Good teachers hasten slowly and follow good teaching progressions. These teaching progressions are all there for people wanting to learn more about infant aquatics on worldwideswimschool.com.
we're done with that? Okay. Take note, when you're talking about submerging, first before you start with submerging, be sure that he can control the breathing. Okay. So how can you test if he can control uh the the breathing where he is he can stay longer, okay, without uh, without drinking water or what, okay. Now you teach him on first on the shower, okay, teaching him on the shower, okay, we're gonna be staying, uh we're gonna be having um control of breathing, okay, for about 5 or 10 seconds. So let's start with 5 seconds. So, well, I'm gonna open the shower for about 5 seconds, and you're gonna hold it, hold your breathing for 5 seconds in the shower. So, hold it. One, two, ready, go. One, two, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Then it starts from there. Or on the other hand, if you're in the swimming pool, get one, um, uh, for example, um, how do you call it? A big cup of water. Okay, you're gonna be taking a shower in the swimming pool there. Okay, okay, we're gonna be taking a shower here in the swimming pool for about 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It's up to you if you wanted to go 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Okay, ready, ready, go. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. It's up to you. Then you can repeat that for about 5 times or 10 times. Then it starts from there. Okay, then if he can control the breathing, okay, by closing her mouth, closing his nose, okay, then that's a start that you can submerge in the water. Then the paddling, you can start with any kind of paddle of the arm if you wanted to. You want a breaststroke arm, you want a dog paddle, it's up to you. It starts from simple paddling and kicking, okay? It starts from there, a simple one that he can move 1 meter or more, okay? It starts from there, small steps gradually. The other stage, take note, the 4-year-old stage, okay, is above already the ways of teaching, be, it's far faster, okay, on the way you teach than the 3 years old below. Now there's another way that you can teach dog crawl if you want, okay, by putting something, a floater at the back, okay, so he can do dog crawl. Okay. Now, if you can possibly hit the back float as he is comfortable on doing back float, it's gonna be easier for him to do back float. Now, if you wanna do combination, you see her doing good on a crawl and a back float. It's up to you. But for now, okay, for the 3 years old below, okay, the putting of a a floater at the back, okay, that can carry the whole body is actually helpful for a dog crawl. Okay, if you're talking about um the whole dog crawl, okay, dog crawl position, it doesn't mean that there is a standard position on doing dog crawl. Okay, try to imagine a dog itself, okay, doing the crawl. Okay, then the kid should be maintaining his chin up. He can stay chin down for about 5 seconds and breathe anytime. Okay, that's another way of maintaining it. Okay, now so there's a big difference between the 4 years old and the 3 years old. The 3 years old, it's much of the the way you do the action, the way you do demonstration, okay, or the way you can see them that they can easily understand what you're saying, okay. Unlike, so in the 4 years old, they can easily understand already what you're saying. Okay, by even just talking, they can easily understand you. Well, it all depends on the caliber or intellect of the kid. Okay, that's a 4 years old going above. So they can easily start with the strokes for the 4 years old and above. But normally, for the 3 years old below, you're focusing on water safety. Water safety is the back float or the dog crawl.
Skill
If
building for 5 to 6-year-old children. Here, Samu demonstrates how well a child almost 6 can swim. Samu has been having 2 lessons a week since he was 4 months, and now that his fine motor skills are developing rapidly, he is starting to combine the various skills so important in learning to swim with good technique. Kicking and breathing. If you want to achieve good swimming technique in children, it is vital that the child has a powerful kick. This must be developed early. Once this kick has been developed, we can add the breathing. In the early stages, it is most important that the child learns to combine breathing and kicking both on left and right sides. Check out Samu's good breathing position. He is comfortable breathing left or right. This has only come about by regular practice, repetition, and an insistence on perfection. Learning, breathing, timing. The timing of the breathing in freestyle is quite intricate, and if you want the child to develop a great freestyle technique, full stroke breathing should not be done until the child has mastered certain prerequisite skills. These skills are shown in much more detail on worldwideswimschool.com. Timing of the breathing with the arms can be achieved by using a kickboard. Normally, I like to use just one arm at a time and make sure I teach the breathing to both sides. With patience, persistence, and perfection, very soon you will have your little swimmer swimming good technical freestyle, but you must insist on perfection during all stages of the learn to swim process. Just remember, teach slowly, insist on perfection, make the lesson fun, and develop in the child a love of swimming and the water. If you do this, you will be well on the way to developing great little swimmers.
okay, this one.
Knox loves a circuit. Once children have mastered some simple skills, in order to keep them active during the swimming lesson, you can combine these skills into a circuit. Here, Knox just too creates his own circus with activities that he likes. He swims to his mum, swims to the high wall, and monkeys back before repeating the sequence.
You've noticed uh there at the time that it's below 3 years old, it's you need to look at the point that they are comfortable, that they can follow you, but on their limited capability. Okay, they will follow you, but on their limited capability. So it doesn't mean that what you expect for them, okay, that you're trying to execute a freestyle or whatsoever. Okay, let's go step by step, a small little step at a time. If you're teaching 3 years old below, okay, I just showed you the comparison of teaching the 4 years old and teaching the 3 years old below. The 3 years old below, take note, the 3 years old below doesn't know the meaning of each word yet. Okay? The 3 years old below is still on the process of understanding the meaning of each word. So what you say, okay, it doesn't mean that you are Tagalog, you are in English, you are whatsoever country, okay, they will easily understand you. They're just starting to comprehend what you're saying. So you need to understand that you're both in a process of adjusting to how you can understand each other. Okay, so you're having a hard time understanding him, and the kid is also having a hard time understanding you. So you need to understand that the situation of communication is a big problem already. Okay, so there is the way that you can talk in a baby talk. Okay, there is the action of your body that that gives uh, the baby or the kid uh, the appetite because of your actions. Okay, the most important thing here is that you need to know how to give how to express what you're saying, whether if it's a body language or the way you talk or a baby talk to him.
This monkey activity starts with a simple gripping of the parent's fingers somewhere between 4 and 12 months of age, before progressing to holding on to the high wall. Knox is now very proficient at monkeying along the high wall, an important water safety skill. If children start swimming lessons early and swim all year round, my preference is to have 2 lessons a week, they become very confident and safer in the water. Knox shows his propulsive style through the water. Once children have mastered floating, they propel themselves through the water with a variety of paddling and kicking actions that are gradually modified as they progress through the Learn to Swim syllabus. It is necessary for the parent-teacher to be continually refining the kicking and paddling action. Good teachers show the parents the correct way to manipulate arms and legs and encourage the parents to be proactive in the Learn to Swim process. If parents take the time to do this, the children become very good little swimmers at an early age.
Okay, breathing on freestyle for the 4 years old.
Breathing. As teachers, our ultimate goal is to have the child swim a perfect 6-beat kick freestyle. I like to teach the child single-sided breathing, but be comfortable on either side. Start with breathing in shallow water. Sit down beside the child and have them put one ear in the water and look at you. Have them look to the bottom of the pool, blow bubbles, face fully submerged, before turning to look back to you. Now, have them stop, look at you, just to make sure they have the correct breathing position. This also gives them the opportunity to get a full breath before bubbling again. Repeat this action. Breathe, bubble. Wait, breathe, bubble. When you are satisfied and you have practiced this skill on both sides, introduce the kickboard. If you have shallow water, start there and have the child breathe on both sides. It's much easier to do this in shallow water or a beach entry pool. If you don't have this luxury, you can get the child to hook their toes over a lane rope so that their body is fully extended in the swimming position. This position is a little more difficult, but children soon learn. When you do this, have the children breathe to both sides, becoming mobile. Before kicking and breathing with a board, you may use the shallow water to crocodile and breathe. When you do this activity, make sure the child goes slow and reaches their hand right in front before turning the head slowly to get a full breath. Notice how when we teach, we continually build skills. Do this, and soon the child will be ready to kick and breathe with a kickboard. Kicking and breathing with a board. Have the child kick short distances at a fairly fast pace. Give them the opportunity to breathe on both sides. Don't hurry. Repeat this action over and over. If you have been patient, taught slowly, continually correcting mistakes, the child will soon master this kicking and breathing skill drill on both sides. Remember, go slow, strive for perfection, continually correct mistakes, praise generously, and establish an expectation of excellence. When you are satisfied that the student is breathing well, it's time to start one arm drill with a kickboard and have the child get used to breathing with one hand on the leg. As always, start with the stationary position so that the child understands exactly what you want. With one arm anchored on the leg, the breathing should be easier for the child and they will be able to feel the position of the arm when it's time to breathe. Manipulate the head if necessary, but do this softly without force, because most children don't like teachers holding their head. Allow, as always, the child to practice this new kicking and breathing drill again and again. As the child gets stronger, you will determine when it's time to do this breathing drill with no board. This breathing drill without the board is quite difficult, and the child should have a very strong kick before you introduce this skill. Because once the child masters this skill, we are ready to teach breathing timing. This is an exciting time for the pupil and teacher because once breathing timing is mastered, all the repetitive drill practice we've been practicing will result in correct freestyle technique. The child will have a great skill that will be with them for life. It's worth a little patience because this will result in a great freestyle technique.
Now, we're talking about overcoming nervousness in teaching. Internship, being an assistant coach, will be the biggest factor to develop your confidence. Okay, so experiences will give you confidence and other not knowledge. Okay, E- on different cases, like for example, um, for most of the rich kids, they're too sensitive on hardships, especially if you're talking about those middle class or the provinces. Okay, they are used on being, well, patient. Okay, and the tolerance on hard hard situations are really there. Okay, now, so if I were you, the biggest thing that you need to learn, okay, is watch. Okay, watch more often on how a coach teach a baby or a toddler. The 4 years old above is very easy. Okay, the hardest thing and the challenging thing is from ages 1 to 3, because if it's between 2 to 3, the kid is so afraid. That's the stage of being so afraid. Okay, by the time it reaches 2 years old, past 2 years old, she starts or he starts to be afraid. By below 2 years old, he's very brave. The kid is very brave. Oftentimes, 80% of the kids are really brave. Okay, and always taking a challenge. Okay, you know, I have a kid which is two kids. One is about 1.5 year old, and then the other one is about 2.5 years old. You know, in doing the jog crawl. Okay, the 1 year old is already doing the dog crawl with the floater at the back. Okay, while this um 2.5 years old, I'm having a hard time really. Okay, now in teaching, the problem there is that if you can if the parents can really take the crying sessions of the kids. Okay, so you need to make it a point that the kid should take a shower for about 5 minutes. If in the shower alone, okay, tell the parent you need to make it a point that he can take the breathing in the shower, breathing control in the shower alone. Okay? If he cannot take the breathing control in the shower alone, you have a problem already. Okay? Because that is already a slow learner. Okay? The slow learner will definitely eat more than 10 sessions for the 3 years old below. Normally, the first three sessions is confidence building, the getting to know stage, first three sessions. The formal lessons will just start within the fourth session itself. Okay, so the hardest thing is teaching how to submerge the face, teaching how to do the bubbles. Okay, then teaching how to totally submerge the head. If you start from there, that he totally submerged the head for about 10 seconds, that's it. You can start the formal lessons already. Okay? But if it doesn't drop the head, okay, the best way that you can tell the parents, okay, before you proceed on the second session, let the kid play that he can submerge in in about 5 or 10 seconds in the water. Okay, so the parent will not be wasting time just to do that on the second session, because if the parent will just see you that he can easily do that, okay, by playing, uh, he will start to doubt you. Okay, and the relationship will be the skepticism, the parents will be skeptical with you, the whole the relationship will be not in a harmonious way. So the best way is for you to tell the parent, okay, you really need, before you proceed on the second session or the third session, you please make it a point that the kid can play that he'll gonna be doing a submerge of inside the water. Okay, that is the safest way. Okay, for you to proceed your lessons, because if you're not gonna be letting them, just tell them, okay, we're gonna be, we don't want you to spend too much time for us to just do the execution of submerging, okay, and eat a lot of sessions just for submerging of the face. Okay, you can easily do that on a playing time. Okay, so that stage alone is the most, that's the eater, and that's the longest part of the process of your learn to swim. Okay, so you need to uh, throw that stage. If he's quite slow, throw that stage to the parents and let them play with submerging of the faces. Engaging with the audience, make eye contact with your audience to create sense of intimacy and involvement. With relatable stories, you can tell stories to give him the attention that they're learning coming from you. Okay, especially the kid, using narratives that makes your message memorable and impactful, encourage the questions, and provide thoughtful responses to enhance audience participation. The parents is your audience. The relatives is your audience. Make it a point that you can also have some questions and answers during the session itself. Okay, so uh, uh for example, mommy, is our baby now, is this baby good in school? Is he paying attention in school? Then the parent will say, he's very good, he's very attentive, and she is the best in school. Oh, mommy says you're the best in school. I hope that you will be the best in swimming. See, you need to make it a point that the 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 whole scenario of teaching, you need to know how to get the attention of the kid, that he will be feeling, oh, I need to prove myself on doing this one. Okay? Use live polls and surveys to gather audience and opinions on promoting engagement. Yeah, this is partly with regards to your example. You have students, then show them the live, okay, the live of your students and teaching. So uh, you can ask questions. Um, what do you think of my? This one is day two. You need to give some um, interactions on the post that you're gonna be making on a live one. Effective delivery on techniques. Okay, this is a powerful public speaking that involves varying in pitch and tones and the volume to convey emotions and emphasis points and maintain interest. Pitch variation. You're not supposed to be loud on your voice on teaching babies, okay? Or toddlers. Tone inflection, okay? You need to make it a point that you're trying to emphasize something, but hey, it's a baby talk. You're talking in front of a 3 year old or 36 months old kid. Okay? Volume control. You cannot raise your voice, man. That's 36 months old, man. Then effective body language enhances your message, making more impactful and memorable. Like doing like doing uh teaching butterfly. Okay? You're doing movement on a butterfly kick. Okay, if for example you're doing meaningful eye contact, you look at the kid. Okay, you're not looking elsewhere. Okay, so the most important thing here is that you are directly connected to your client or your student. Purpose gesture. Wow. Okay. The most important thing there is that you're showing, okay, the correct expectation of the kid and the parent. Okay. Maintain good posture. Hey guys, you're supposed to be professional as much as possible. Good, control your expressions. Whether you're disappointed, you're happy, okay, or shocked, okay, you're not supposed to be, you're in control. Okay, you take note. If you're educated and the environment is educated, you cannot shout, holy shit. You cannot shout like that. This is okay, you need to control your words. You delicate matter, need to control your emotions, man. Teaching swimming for the 3 years old below, and you're not uh, giving attention, you might end up. Hey, do you think that you're teaching kids 3 years old below? You can do uh, 4 kids or 3 kids all at the same time. Oh yes, it's quite risky. If I were you, instead of doing 4 kids or 3 kids or 2 kids, do if you're trying to divide 4 kids in an hour, that's 15 minutes only. So better do personalized of 30 minutes. See? So you just do 30 minutes each session. You don't need to go for uh, uh, 20 minutes or 30 minutes divided by 4. No, it's not going to be good. Okay? So can you open your windows and let's take a picture? Do you have any questions, guys? Okay.
Hey, Dennis, Mark here. Hey, I did really want to give notice to Lori Lawrence as a wonderful treasure and
Yeah.
resource. It's so important to all the things he's done for the young kids, but also for Australian swimming at the higher levels. I got to meet him one time. He's a real valuable asset to our swimming community. Hey, I also like the way they always have movement with the babies or the child or the toddlers in the water. They just don't stand still, but they're moving, so that the body is feeling the water flow down the arms and around the body. That's really important. And there's one other thing that I like to do with my kids is, and I saw Coach Fletcher do this too. He would hold the kid and then jump in together, holding the child. He did it. I do it like off the side of the pool, but Fletcher, he would like to grab the kid. Maybe he would be even older, like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and go off the diving board because he was a diver, holding the kid right in their hands, making that Jeep. And that was so much fun rather than just like sending them off into to space on their own. But that was just sort of another skill that we always like to do is, walking down the pool, holding the kid. Now it scares the lifeguards. Sometimes they don't know that we're going to jump in together, but it's a lot of fun. And I hadn't seen that type of move on the videos, but yeah, let's take a picture.
Okay, guys, let's take a picture. Open your
Thank you,
windows,
Coach.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, coaches.
See you again.
See you again, guys.